Okay, today we are talking about dividing fractions and nothing really new today. We're not even going to have variables in what we're doing today. It's just going to basically be a review of something you've already done. All of it will be. We're going to just look at a few examples to refresh our memory, but beyond that, not much of anything. Um, One thing we need to know or to remember is when we divide any non-zero number, we multiply it by its reciprocal. Look at these two numbers. Now, normally we think 14 divided by 2, we're thinking 7. But did you know that 14 divided by 2 is the same as 14 times 1/2? Remember the keep it, change it, flip it thing that you learned whenever you learned it. I don't know what year you did, but it works with whole numbers. I can keep it, change it, flip it. Dividing by 2 is the same as multiplying by 1/2. Here, dividing by 4 is the same as multiplying by 1/4. Look, here we're dividing by 3/4, and it's the same as multiplying by 4/3. We're just flipping, taking the reciprocal. We're just changing places with the numerator and the denominator here. And here, this is what we, used to seeing. 3/5, we keep it. We keep the first fraction here. We change the sign to multiplication, then we flip it here. So let's look at a few problems. Okay, here I've got 8 over 11. Now, the 8 over 11 divided by 33 over 40. And the temptation here is to cross reduce the 8 and the 40 and the 11 and 33 because it looks so inviting. But we cannot do that because what we're dealing with here is a division problem. And we need a multiplication problem to do that. So I cannot do it when I've got this here. So I've got to keep it, change it, and flip it. And when I do that, nothing works well. I mean, nothing. So I just have to multiply. 33 times 11 is 363. On top, 8 times 40 is 320. And the good thing about this is that these are relatively prime. Nothing goes into both of these numbers except for 1. So we are finished, actually. We couldn't cross reduce, but we can't reduce even after we finish. So that didn't work out too bad. Let's look at this one. We keep it, we change it, we flip it. This is negative. Now I can cross reduce. Becomes a 1, this becomes a 4, this becomes a 3, this becomes a 5. I multiply, I get negative 5 over 12. Okay, and it doesn't need reduced. Here, keep it, change it, flip it. I've got 7 over 12 times 3 over 2. The 3 and the 12 work, and that's about it. 7 times 1 is 7, 4 times 2 is 8. I am finished. Okay, and next, let's look at this one, negative 4 over 9. We keep it, we change it, we flip it. Okay, they're both negative, so I get a positive answer. But this becomes 1, this becomes 2. I get negative 11 over 18, and that's a good answer there. For time's sake, let's just skip this one. Well, let's go ahead and do it. We got 4/9 times 11 over negative 16. Okay, these two work well together. That becomes 1, that becomes 4. So I get 11. Actually, it's a negative. And why I put the negative on the bottom, I don't know. It should have been up here. Negative 11 over 36. That does not reduce. That is our answer right there. Let's do this last one. It's 3/13. So remember, 15 is really 15 over 1. So when I flip it, I get 1 over 15. So it's 3/13 times 1 over 15. Okay, the 3 and the 15 work well. That is 3 and that's 5. I get 1 over 65. And I am finished. Let's do a few more. Let's do some mixed numbers. With mixed numbers, you have to put them into improper fractions. This becomes 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25 over 6, times 5 over 3. I'm sorry, divided by 5 over 3. I almost made that mistake. Which becomes 25 over 6 times 3 over 5. That goes to 1, that goes to 5. This goes to 1, that goes to 2. I get 5 over 2, which is 1 and 1/2. For space sake, I'm kind of crunching this all in here, but you get the picture here. This is going to be negative 21 over 4 divided by 12 over 5. Keep it, change it, flip it, negative 21 over 4 times 5 over 12. Not 13, 12. Okay, I can divide this and this by 3. That becomes 4. That becomes negative 7. So I get a negative 35 over 16. Well, that is equal to negative 2 and 3/16. Let's look at this one. I get 19 over 3 divided by, that's going to be 27 plus 8 is 35. It's negative 35 over 9. Keep it, change it, flip it. That becomes 1. That becomes 3. Okay, 19 times 3, that's going to be 57. I don't know why I put the negative on the bottom. That's not where it normally goes, but we'll get the right answer anyway, I hope. 1 times 35 is 35. That goes into it. 1 and 22/35. It is negative. Let's do one more. 5 times 7 is 35 plus 1 is 36 over 5. Divided by 10, that's 13 over 10. We're going to keep it, change it, and there's a negative there, and flip it. I'm going to make sure I put the negative here. That becomes 1. That becomes 2. 2 times 36 is 72 over 13. Well, 13 goes into 72. 5 times 13 is 65. So it's going to be a negative 5. Sorry. And that is going to be 7 over 13. Okay, next page. Evaluate the expression. When we're doing this, first we want to make everything into improper fractions. 17 times 5 is 85 plus 1 is 86. Divided by 34 plus 9 is 43. Minus 19 over 30. Okay, now keep it, change it, flip it. I want to do multiplication division first. So it's 86 over 17 times 34 over 43. Okay, good thing here is that'll go there, that goes to that, this goes to that, that goes to that. I've got minus 19 over 30. Okay, so I get 2 times 2 is 4. I get 4 over 1, and I'm just going to keep it 4 over 1 just for a second here. Minus 19 over 30. I need a common denominator, and that's going to be 30. 19 over 30 stays. 30 times 4 is 120. That's going to equal 101 over 30. That's going to be 3 and 11/30. And we are finished. Make sure with these, order of operation, always look for multiplication division first. Then it's going to be addition and subtraction last. If it's all addition and subtraction or all multiplication division, you work left to right. Left to right. Here's a basic word problem and we'll be finished. You want to join strips of wood that are 15 inches long and 1 5/8 inches wide to make a cutting board that is at least 12 inches wide. How many strips are needed? Well, if I need the cutting board to be 12 inches wide, and these are 1 5/8 inches wide, I definitely don't need to know this right now. I don't care about that. So I need to just divide. Okay, so I'm going to divide 12 by 1 5/8. Let's make that improper. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13. That's going to equal 12 times 8 over 13. Okay, 12 times 8, that's going to be 96 over 13. That 13 goes into 96 7 times with a remainder of 5. Okay, so 7 and 5/13. But how many strips are actually needed? Well, I can't get 5/13 of a strip, so I'm going to either need 7 or 8. And since I need a little bit more than 7, I'm going to have to get 8 so that I get at least 12 inches wide on the cutting board. And 8 it is. 8 strips. That will do it for 5.5.